3, hit it!
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's Caffeine for the Soul. And continuing our theme of what is caffeine for the soul, I want to talk a little bit about waking up, as it's talked about in spiritual tradition. And the story that came to mind, I had a chance to have lunch with a Zen master a few years ago. And I thought, as this was a kind of a special opportunity, I would ask him a question that I've always had about the stories I read about transmission in Zen. Now, if you don't know about Zen, transmission is the idea that somehow the Zen master can transmit the Dharma, the truth, the enlightenment experience directly to the student. So you'll hear the story, and the master transmits the Dharma to the disciple, and in that moment the disciple is enlightened. And I always thought, well, that would be a pretty cool thing to know how that works. So I asked him about it, and his answer surprised me. Because he said, there is something awake in me that is asleep in most people. And when they spend time with me, that thing begins to wake up. And through sitting with me and practices and koans and the various things we do, that thing in them begins to wake up more and more of the time. And if, by grace, at a certain point, that thing that is fully awake in me becomes fully awake in them, transmission is said to have taken place, although at no point did anything pass directly from me to the student. Now, I thought that was pretty cool. And it raised the question, well, what is it that is awake in him? And I can only tell you what I have seen in the work that I do as a non-Zen master. And what I've seen is that there is something that is alive in all of us that we are asleep to. So waking up isn't so much waking something up in us, it's waking up to something in us. It's waking up to a space within us, a spaciousness within us. It's waking up to a quiet in us, a stillness in us. It's waking up to a presence in us, what in my work I call the presence of mind. And as we wake up to that which is in us, to the wisdom within, the presence within, the well-being within, the joy within, and the space within through which all of these things can be experienced, we live a more enlightened life. Not enlightened in the one-and-done sense that you sometimes get in Eastern religion, but enlightened in the sense of awake, more awake to our deeper potential. Now, the other part of waking up is not what we're waking up to, but what we're waking up from. And in any spiritual tradition, what we are waking up from is the illusion, is Maya, is the dream of life. And the way we wake up from the dream of life is to wake up to the fact of thought, to the fact that we are living in a world of thought that is then projected into consciousness and experienced through the body, through the senses, through the brain. Now, I get that that might sound really esoteric, and I think it is, in the literal sense of the word. So for today, all I want to point to is that each one of these daily messages is just designed to wake you up a little bit more to what is already inside you, to your innate health, your innate well-being, your infinite creative potential, and to what makes your reality look small, makes your reality look scary, makes your reality look different from everyone else's reality. The fact of thought. And we'll be talking about that in 1,000 different ways over the course of our time together. Have fun, learn heaps, happy exploring, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.